Hey guys, so I'm Jared Grebe and I am the clean vocalist for Erised.
I'm Joshua Cram and I'm the screamer for Erised.
I'm Scott Siegel and I'm the guitarist for Erised and I also mix the record.
I'm Josh Wilcox and I'm the other guitarist for Erised.
So we just released a brand new EP called Insomnia. It's a 5-song EP. It's available at all streaming service sites. You guys should go check it out. It's a self-produced record and we're pretty proud of it.
Yeah, it's something that we put a lot of time into and tried to take our time really with writing the songs and just the content, and it was a really fun EP for us to do, and it's been a while since we had any of us had really recorded music, and so it was something really exciting for us to get to do.
Yeah, actually, I had never been recorded on anything before, so this is a new experience for me as an artist. I'd been in bands, but I'd never been in anything more professional, and so this is a really exciting experience for me to grow and work alongside these other guys.
I think it started about a year ago. Does that sound right, guys?
Yeah, September.
Yeah. It took us about a year to come up with all the songs, so it wasn't exactly a quick process, but it was a good time for all of us.
So Sine Wave Studios, hit them up if you're ever in Albuquerque.
Yeah, we got a new studio up and running. Hoping to record some local bands over here in Albuquerque and just spread the metal.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So we all started playing music back in high school. Scott, Jared, and I all were in a band called Sometime Anywhere. We were lucky enough to play quite a few shows around town, but we were more of kind of like a pop punk band. I was always trying to push these guys to get into metal more, and it took about 10 years for that to happen. So.
Yeah, only 10 years, and Josh finally convinced us that metal was the way to go, and it's been really fun. We like the just the intensity of metal. It's a very intense music, but it's also it's been fun for me to just write lyrically to that type of music, because I feel like music can evoke emotions in ways that it's just kind of crazy how music has that kind of power, and I feel like it can really, help people. It can inspire people, and so it's been a fun project to work on, and I'm really proud of the lyrical content that we came up with on the album.
Yeah, and as far as Jared writing lyrics, me as the screamer, I don't like other people writing my lyrics for me, but Jared did such a good job that, there was nowhere for me to step in. He just did such a good job. And it's ironic because I had always been a big fan of their earlier band project when I was younger, and so for me to get to step in and then join in on that in the genre of music that I was gifted in it's always just been super cool for me just as a vocalist.
Yeah, and it's crazy how talented Josh as a screamer has been. I mean, he's
we wouldn't be able to do metal if we didn't have somebody who could scream as well as Josh can.
Right, and there's no way, I may write the screaming parts, but I for sure as heck can't do them. So, it's been cool to see how just really talented he is at that part of the that dynamic, and it's been really cool to just see, I think he's, what are you, 19, 20 years old?
I'm turning 20 on January 2nd.
Yeah, so that's just crazy. I can't imagine how good he'll be by the time he's an old-timer like me. I'm 30. But it's just crazy. He's wicked talented, and we're super blessed to have him as our screamer for our band, and, I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the origin of the band name?
Yeah, so basically we're all nerds, man.
The band name is pretty nerdy, but it's kind of cool what it represents at the same time.
Yeah, Jared and I were just hanging out at his house, and we were just racking our brains trying to figure out a band name for this project, and we were watching Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and the iconic scene with the Mirror of Erised showed up, and we were just like, Erised, genius.
Yeah.
We're not clever enough to come up with cool words.
Yeah.
Someone else is.
Yeah. Well, and I really like the meaning, I mean, there's a whole meaning behind why it's Erised. It's desire spelled backwards, and I think it's kind of a cool, metaphor because, our desires typically sometimes can be very backwards. What we're desiring sometimes is really not what we need, whether that be money or, lust or relationship, whatever it is. A lot of times, that our desires are backwards, and I kind of like that name for the band. That's kind of the meaning behind it, I guess, for me.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about influences?
Yeah. Josh, why don't you?
All right, I'll kick it off. So I guess early on, like in high school, like I said, we were all kind of into pop punk more. So like, I don't know, like Rufio and Yellow Card were kind of like big influences when we were starting back then. After a couple years, I started listening to bands like Under Oath and August Burns Red and Thrice, and that was kind of like the gateway into metal.
Anything with crazy riffs.
Yeah.
Anything with crazy riffs. Seosin is another good crazy riff band. But yeah, I feel like that kind of kicked us off into, I don't know, a more harder type of music. What about you guys?
Probably, I've been listening to a lot of Era, actually. I think that their mixes and their songs just freaking hit hard, and they're really well done.
Talk about technicality.
They jam live. So, me as a screamer, am obviously into heavier bands. I'm really into a lot of like emotional screaming. So I'm into bands like Too Close to Touch and Wolves at the Gate. I'm a huge Under Oath fan, despite the fact that it's maybe a little older than me. I'm really into the whole like. I like screaming not because it's necessarily heavy. I like screaming because it portrays a level of emotion that sometimes singing can't quite hit, and so it's really rad to be able to do that. So that's kind of what I get out of screaming is a high level of emotion. So I go for that. So for more emotional heavy bands.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw that. I think, like what you're saying, Josh, screaming adds kind of like an urgency or like a franticness to the vocals, whereas singing doesn't always do that, or can do that, I guess. So yeah, that's another reason I've always loved it.
Some of the earlier influences that we had were probably, for me at least, was, Taking Back Sunday, Yellow Card. I really like Seosin. That was another band, I guess, that is a little bit harder that I was definitely into, and some good music that definitely inspired this EP.
So right now we're trying to promote our EP as much as possible before we get into writing anything else. So you guys should go check us out on Facebook. We need likes. Give us a comment. We love comments. We love to see people are listening.
Yeah, we love feedback. I mean, like, it's always fun to go read the comments and see what people think and, what people like.
One of my favorite things is reading feedback in other languages, because it's just really cool to know that people beyond where we live are listening and have an interest in it. It's just so cool.
It's awesome.
Yeah, and as far as just the lyrical content on this EP, a lot of it had to do, a lot with, going through tough times, despair, but through that having a hope. And, obviously my faith had a lot of impact on the way that I wrote for this EP. But, you can have faith in anything, whether that's, my personal faith in God or whether that's, faith in whatever it is for you. My hope behind the writing in this album was to pick people up, to lift them up, because life can be hard. Life can be difficult. You can go through really dry seasons of, really hard times, depression, anxiety, and you can hear a lot of that in the lyrics. Obviously, personally, I've been through some of that, and, and that's kind of our hope, I feel like, as musicians, is to bless people with our music, and so that was my hope personally for the writing of this album.
Yeah, and it's awesome because even as a member of the project, I screaming those words and stuff, it actually really had a positive effect on me. I remember there were a couple points in my life in the last year where I would just reflect on the words of our song Belshazzar, which is the first one we did, and just feeling like, wow, I really need that. I really needed to hear that. And so it's cool that even something that I've been a part of has helped me in a positive way, and so I can only hope that it'll reach someone out there that that isn't one of us that really does need to hear that. Maybe they just need that little push to turn things around, or
We'd like to thank Metal Therapy for having us on, and thank you for listening to us, guys. This is Jared from Erised.
Take what's mine.